Hello and welcome to Wizards, Warriors, and Words, a fantasy writing advice podcast. My name is Jed Herne, author of Fires of the Dead, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, starting with Rob J. Hayes.
Hi, I'm Rob Hayes, author of, we'll go with the Heroic Age trilogy, which is the Mortal Techniques box set.
Michael R. Fletcher.
Michael R. Fletcher, author of some books. I didn't write this one, but I'm reading it right now, and I do kind of wish I did write it. Shadows of Ivory, Taya Greylock, fucking awesome. So good.
Epic. And Dirk Ashton.
I am Dirk Ashton, and no matter what Mike might say, and I am the author of the Paternus trilogy.
We are joined today by a very special guest, Peter McClean. Peter, welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Peter McClean. I'm author of the War for the Rose Throne series, starting with Priest of Bones, if you can see that, Priest of Lies, and Priest of Gallows, which the series will conclude this August with Priest of Crowns, which unfortunately I don't have a copy of yet, but then nor is anybody else.
Nice. Has that book finished writing? Is that off to the editors? Where's that at in
it's just gone through proofreads, so it's ready to go to press, but supply chain problems are hammering all across the publishing industry at the moment.
Yeah.
It was
I'll make a few
supposed to be
calls
out
and see
in
what I
April,
can do.
but yeah, do that. Get on a Jeff for me.
So today we're going to do a game show episode where we go through various pet peeves that some of you have submitted for the show, and we will get points when we identify how we used those pet peeves in our books or in one of the other host books. But
really, I found a new pet peeve. It's hosts with hiccups.
Yes, the hiccups have been very bad today. Apologies in advance to our listeners. It's all Mike's fault. No context needed. But before we get into the episode, I do want to thank 4 new patrons that we have. Those new patrons are Adam, Jared, Tanaya, and Matt. Thank you so much for helping support our show. If you want to become an awesome patron like one of those 4 people, all you have to do is head to patreon.com/Wizards Warriors Words. The link will be down in the show notes. There will not be hiccups in the link down below, so it'll be much easier to access. And yeah, we've got some cool stuff coming up for the patron soon. We're going to do some exclusive patron-only episodes. It's not going to interrupt our usual weekly episodes, but it's going to be just an extra bit of bonus content for our patrons to thank you for supporting the show. It's because of you that we've been able to upgrade our microphones, pay for the Zoom subscription we use to record this show, and basically continue this podcast. So, Rob, do you want to kick us off with the
can do. I just want to point out first off, this is people's pet peeves. For the writers here, if you've done any of these, this doesn't mean you're a bad writer. This is just things that certain people just find annoying. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Words, dragons.
Words about
words.
Words. Yeah. No. Okay. So the first and the pet peeve that most people told me about. Does anybody have love triangles in any of their books?
Not me. I didn't get one.
Wow, we escaped.
Yes.
Nobody? Well, I'm going to buzz in straight away and say, Fletcher,
what?
You do.
Well, fuck off. Oh, shit, I do.
Yeah.
I wish I paid more attention to my books.
Henker and the mercenary woman whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, no, you're right.
There we go.
One for me.
Blackstone Heart.
Back.
Nice. All right. That's
not you, Peter.
Let me write down
triangles.
Let me write down points.
No, I don't think so. Not that I can think of. No.
Like not even like the main character, a woman and his sword.
That's good.
No, I don't think anybody could accuse me of writing much in the way of romance for my main character.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it looks like a sin that most of us have dodged.
Nice. We are all excellent authors. Except for Mike.
We'll go with another one, shall we? Flashbacks.
Oh yes, guilty of that one.
Well,
definitely. Yeah,
definitely there.
That's a pet peeve.
Who went first? Who went first? I think Peter. Did you go first?
Yeah, I think I probably did. So my main character, Thomas Piety, is a war veteran suffering heavily from PTSD, So flashbacks to his experiences in the war do happen quite frequently, usually in the middle of a fight when he starts flipping out. So yeah, I do use that one quite a lot, but I think I'll get a pass for that personally.
No, that's 1 point to you, Peter. I don't know what these points are for, but it's fun writing them down.
Yeah, I've got flashbacks. Rob, you've got flashbacks?
I've got flashbacks.
Yeah.
Has anyone
Jed?
flashbacks?
Jed, do you have flashbacks?
I'm sure I do. I just can't remember. Yeah, actually, yes, absolutely. In Across the Western
so
Stars,
we all get
also
that
have a war veteran with lots of
we are
flashbacks.
literally all guilty of flashbacks.
Okay, but
I'm
Peter
going to
gets
start
points
keeping
'cause he went
score
first.
here.
I've got a little table written down here.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, you got it? You're doing it?
I'm on
Okay,
it. So
then I
basically
don't-
how it works is the first person to buzz in and say what their pet peeve was in and how it was shown in their book. That's the person who gets the points. However,
Yeah, but we all did it.
it's all about timing. It's all about timing. And actually, Rob gets 2 points for the first round for calling out that Fletcher had the pet peeve. Bonus points.
I would like to point out I have done a love triangle as well, but
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, next one.
Okay, we'll move on. Female characters ignoring advice from men just to prove how tough and independent they are. So basically, Danny from Game of Thrones. Anyone?
I don't think so.
Racking with brains. I haven't read my books for a long time. I can't remember, to be honest.
This is making me realizing I just don't remember anything I wrote.
That's another
Okay,
one.
well, I'll admit to the sin because Eska
does that
ignores advice
24/7.
from absolutely everybody.
Eska doesn't discriminate.
Men, women, children, I don't know,
Ghosts.
stones. She just
Inanimate
hates
objects.
everybody and ignores them all.
So, I mean, somebody could possibly accuse me of that, I guess, but I don't think I'd have done that.
I don't think your characters do that at all.
No, I think it's only you, Rob.
Yeah, I am
Rob
very
Jason
sinful. Okay. Fantasy names. You know the
Define
type.
that. Define
Names
that.
you cannot pronounce.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Dirk, you
mine
went
are
first.
taken from actual mythology, folklore, or legend. Does that count?
I think it still does. I think
Yeah.
it still does.
Okay. So who's guilty of that? I'm
Yourself
keeping my own
and
score.
Fletcher. So what's
Okay.
Dirk, what is the most unpronounceable or most gibberish fantasy name that you've ever written?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh my God. How about all of them?
Surely it's like the Queasel.
Rob, is
Code
there
or
anyone
something
that
like
really tripped you up more than the rest?
What in yours? I don't know, because you say, like, a lot of them are from actual mythology, so I kind of knew how to pronounce quite a few of them that would have otherwise tripped me up, I think.
I mean, even simple stuff like Quetzalcoatl. And,
Yeah, I had no clue how to say that.
Yeah. And
Disgraceful. Okay.
the prophet Majananda.
You can't even say it yourself, man. Come on.
No.
The Terror Bird. There you go. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's much
Yeah,
better.
exactly.
Michael,
Okay.
what is your most
Manifesting
unpronounceable
Visions
one?
one?
stuff was all German. I can't pronounce any of my characters' names. Like, how bad is that?
Don't you narrate your audiobooks?
Yeah, it's no. Those sold. Somebody else narrated those. They sold to Trantor. I can't even remember who bought them. Some audiobook people.
Is
I'd
that
love
why
to know where you
sold
actually
the
picked your
audiobooks?
names from, because I swear I have a Hoover with Witch Tig written on it.
He does. He just grabs that stuff. Peter, are yours pretty straightforward?
Yeah, I'm guilty of the opposite sin. Mine are really boring, normal English names with the spelling slightly changed, like George Martin does.
Jeds are all like Jed, Rob, Mike, Peter.
Mine are all named after the rivals that I wish to surpass. No, I'm in your camp, Peter. I try to keep them pretty pronounceable, I think.
Yeah.
That's just how I prefer it. But yeah, that's
Okay.
Fletcher's actually in
advice,
Priest of
actually.
Crowns, believe it or not. I have a
Is he?
Michael who's a Fletcher, does make a very brief appearance.
Nice.
Before being brutally murdered, no doubt.
No, I think I'll let you off, actually.
Oh.
I don't know why. I missed a trick there. But
Yeah.
Well, you got the
Petrick,
last
I
book. Surely
killed
it's not.
Petrick off in Priest of Gallows. He was very pleased with that, bless him.
Yeah.
He mentions that quite a lot, I have
He
to
does,
say.
yeah.
Okay, so We'll move on. Next one: character death fake outs or resurrections.
Oh shit.
Go on, Dirk. Admit your sin.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have several, if not more, of those.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah,
Got a couple.
definitely me. Anybody else? Just me and Mike?
Kind of.
Not me. When I kill somebody on mainnet, they're dead. You know what I mean?
They stay dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't tend to bring characters back to life, but I have done the odd character death fake out, you know, end a scene or a book with a character dying, and then next book they turn up alive.
That's only because you forgot that you wrote that they died.
Called out.
No, funnily enough, actually, one of my characters dies at the end of Along the Razor's Edge, and he was going to just stay dead. But then when I was writing book 2, I decided that book was shit and I needed to change it. So I rewrote book 2 and decided that character was actually still alive.
And he's really good in it as well, because I think that book wouldn't have functioned without that character coming back. So that was a good choice. Do you reckon it counts as a fake out if you're like cutting away from a chapter in a situation that leaves the characters looking as if they're in certain doom? Or do you think that's just a cliffhanger?
That's
just a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Okay. I escaped.
Does it count if you meant to kill off some characters when you were writing the book and then ended up not, and they ended up being the main characters? Okay.
I don't think so.
I did a lot of that.
Okay, so the next pet peeve is one submitted by somebody called Peter McClean. No. Anyway,
Never heard of him.
Firing arrows. Would you like to explain this one?
Yeah, defend yourself,
Yes,
Peter.
I would. For all that he's one of my favorite authors, Joe Abercrombie is so guilty of this. People are firing bows left, right, and center.
Yeah.
You didn't fire a bow. They hadn't invented the term until gunpowder. You loose an arrow. And it just, I don't know why it pisses me off, but it really does every time I see a reference to firing a bow or firing arrows.
Can you shoot an arrow?
Oh, I got into this debate because
I saw this on Twitter.
I need to get out more, basically. I got into this debate with somebody online. I think we came to the consensus you can, but probably only a crossbow. Your longbow type of thing, you definitely loose.
Okay.
Because, I mean, a crossbow's still got a trigger, so it's like it's just shooting action kind of thing.
I just have my characters twang them.
No one's twanged an arrow at you.
Shit, I just found a new pet peeve.
Peter twanged his bow.
Oh.
Imagine that for guns, though. Rob twanged his gun.
No,
It
that
doesn't work.
That sounds like a personal issue.
It does.
It'll be banged. Rob banged.
Nice.
Bang the
I like
bow.
that, Mike. I like that. Okay, well,
Yeah.
Peter gets a solid point for that. Well done.
Just for coming up with it. I don't know.
I don't
okay.
think I don't think I've ever had anyone fire a bow in my books.
Yeah, I've had people shoot bows, I think, but I don't think fire.
So they just shoot another bow out of their bow? Is that how it works?
Fuck off.
Well, when you shoot your gun, you don't actually shoot the gun, you shoot the bullet, right?
Imagine how scary that would be if when you shot a gun, another gun flew out of the barrel and it whacked into people.
Yeah.
Are you saying you fire the gun but shoot the bullet?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Nobody knows.
Words of chaos. I think that's what we're taking away from this episode. All right, Rob, what's the next one?
Okay, this is a good one. I'm just going to admit I'm guilty as hell of this one. Releasing a breath they didn't know they were holding.
Oh, absolutely. Every second chapter. My
Suddenly realizing they hadn't been breathing. Yeah,
that's right.
That.
That's right.
I think we'll just tag this one on as well. Smiles that don't reach characters' eyes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to confess to that one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. It's a pet peeve, but like I think most authors use it, especially in fantasy.
It just works. It
Yeah.
conveys inauthenticity so well, and that's why it's a cliche.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just go. We're all guilty of that
Yeah,
one.
pretty much everyone's got that one.
I did that in book 1 and never did it after that.
Really?
You
Only
have the
book
discipline
one.
to stop.
Just in book 1.
Now I'm going to have to reread.
But
Paternity
I did it like
School.
3 times.
Yeah.
Same character, but 3 times.
Did they like collapse from the lack of oxygen?
No, not holding the breath. The smile that doesn't reach the eyes.
I see. That's a bit easier to do.
Yeah.
Bro, what's the
I
next
did
one?
that. I did that probably in each book. The holding the breath thing.
That's right. And you get to the third book, and one of the characters realizes they've been holding a breath since book 1.
Yeah. But my characters are pretty. They can hold their breath a long time.
Benefits of being a mythological figure. All right, Rob, move us on.
Okay, so the next one we'll go with broody, angsty teens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they better
For sure.
not
Yeah,
read.
is
They
there any
better
other
not
kind
read
of
half the
teenager,
books
though?
published.
It's amazing how many of these pet peeves you just look at and you're like, but that's like everything.
You're like, that's a genre. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty much a point for
That's like
basically
saying my
everyone.
pet peeve is fantasy. I don't read that shit.
Yeah.
My pet peeve is stories about things that didn't happen,
Yeah.
aka stories.
Fiction. I hate fiction.
I hate
Yeah.
fiction.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I have had a review which basically accused one of my books of being a lie.
Yeah.
Which is
I remember that
fiction.
one. Yeah.
You're like,
None
so I
of this
did my
really happened.
job.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yes,
we need to
yes,
start
it
putting
is.
that
Well done.
we need to start putting that disclaimer at the front of our books, which is like, this story was based on true events. Only the events have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rob, before we go on to the next one, real quick,
Ooh.
we haven't done this for ages. Book of the week. Peter, tell us about your first book, because we never actually got that much context, just for readers who aren't familiar with it.
My first book, Priest of Bones, is a gangster story.
Heck
Mostly,
yeah.
it is a gangster action thriller dressed up as a fantasy novel in a sort of quasi-Tudor, semi-historical setting, apart from the bits I made up because research looks hard. But so it's a first-person narrative, tells the story of a man called Thomas Piety.
Great
who
name.
At the start of the book is just returning from war. I'll give you a rough flavour. Let me read you the first few lines.
Okay.
After the war, we came home. 65,000 battle-shocked trained killers came home to no jobs, no food, and the plague. What the fuck did Her Majesty think was going to happen?
Nice.
Gives you a fair flavour
awesome.
for the narrative
is
voice
awesome.
throughout, really.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's the moment when Scorsese just drops like "Give Me Shelter" by the Rolling Stones in there. And,
Pretty much.
montage.
Exactly that. Yeah.
That is epic. Awesome. We'll dig into that in future episodes because
Sure.
we'll have you on for a few. But yeah, that's awesome. That is Priest of Gallows.
That's the first one, Priest of Bones.
Priest of
Gallows
Bones.
is
Sorry,
the
Priest of
third
Bones.
one.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Priest of
Gallows is the third in the quartet.
book.
This is the trilogy of 4 books that I wrote.
Love those trilogies of 4.
have that debate with my editor one day. But, yeah.
Hey, if it worked for Martin,
The
I'm sure it
fifth
can
book
work for
will be
you.
Priest of Penguins.
Yes, I suppose that would be be the surrealism edition, definitely.
Nice. All right, and
Well enough, that leads us on to one of the pet peeves, which I'm
penguins?
guessing
Who doesn't
you're
like
not going to be
penguins?
guilty of, which is people waiting 5 or 6 years for the next book in the series.
Whoa, come on, that's not fair.
Not guilty of that one.
Mike,
Go on, Fletcher.
you
admit
get
your
like
sin.
20 points for this.
Fair
for Mike.
split.
Fuckers.
I honestly, this wasn't actually targeted at Fletcher, but it fit.
I think it was targeted at a more indie author who is called George or something like that. But apparently it's hidden Mike as well. Epic.
Anyway, so the next one, characters looking in a mirror or a mirrored surface to describe themselves.
Surely Michael Fletcher. Didn't you have a book that was like looking at mirrors every paragraph?
Yeah, that's not the problem though. My very first book, Ghost of Tomorrow, I literally didn't know any better. It was like, I need to describe this guy, and he's by himself. How do I do it? Oh, look, there's a mirror.
Easy.
And then I think I did it twice in the same book, and my editor was like, no. She let me have the first one, but was like, fuck off, you gotta kill the second one.
I'm definitely guilty of that. I did it in the first book fairly early on because I was trying to throw as many tropes from that kind of YA sort of thing in as possible. but then I did it again later in the book in a pool of water.
See, that's cool. I like a pool of water reflection.
With a hairy little firstborn.
I mean, you say that, but I literally listened to a book like a few weeks ago where a character was staring into a pool, remembering the man they used to be while tugging on their own chest hair for some reason.
What? I was with you until the chest hair part.
Yeah.
Who doesn't stare into a pool and tug their own chest hair?
Rob, that was Mike Fletcher. That wasn't in a book.
No. Fletcher was not guilty of that one.
That was just a win.
Yes, he is. No, wasn't his book. Actually Fletcher. It wasn't his book. That was actually him. Yeah.
That's his writing routine, how he psychs himself up for a solid session. Yeah, just checking you got hair down there, Mike.
You get a good handful.
Nice. I have basically no chest hair, so it must be very nice. Everybody out there who can perform this act of self-reflection.
Puberty will take care of that. Don't worry, Jed.
Just walked right into that one. Well played.
Jed actually reached 13 years old the other day.
A big milestone. Yeah. A big milestone. That's right. Yeah. Soon I might be able to walk.
Yeah. Can't joke about him being 12 anymore.
What's our next one, Robbie?
This next one is actually one of mine. Somebody else mentioned it as well on Twitter, but this one's definitely one of mine. Oldie worldy speak. People saying thee and thou and thou and all of that bullshit.
Yeah, and they always get it wrong as well. I'll let people off doing that if they exactly get it right, but that virtually never happens.
Rob, art thou nottest a fan of thine technique?
I hate it. I hate it when people like that and people when they sound like they're in a fantasy novel, like they know they're in a fantasy novel. They're like, oh, the malignancy of this swamp is really, hindering our approach. And you're like, oh, fuck off.
To be fair, that is funny when it's one character that speaks like that. And then you have another character who comes along and just like tells them to jump in a lake.
But if like everybody speaks that way.
It's funny when it's in The Princess Bride.
I do that. Kind of takes the piss out of it.
I have one character who talks like that sometimes, but only when he's reciting something from the past or something that applies to his own past life, where he would have actually spoken.
He has been sentenced to prison for his crimes against literature.
Yeah. Dirk Edgar talks like that sometimes.
Oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, it works in his case. All right, I reckon,
but Rob, not very often.
We go for another 4 pet peeves and then start to wrap this up.
Okay. Well, we'll aim this one at Dirk. Chosen ones.
Hey. Dirk gets all the points.
Not necessarily a foretold chosen one, but yeah, I guess. I kind of work around it, but yeah, I'm guilty.
Anyone else?
But I love that stuff. There's so many books and movies that I have to admit that I love that have that shit in it. So many of them.
I think I like chosen one stories where it's like a case of it really profoundly messing up the main character. Like one of the reasons why I enjoyed the second Dune book so much is because the first Dune book is sort of like, Paul is the chosen one. And then the second book is like, Paul is the chosen one. He didn't get a choice. And it actually unravels that in a really, really fascinating and kind of disturbing way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole thing with Dune, he is the chosen one, but it's kind of what side of the fence does the chosen one actually sort of land on in some ways. It's the same with Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. He's the chosen one, but he was actually chosen to destroy the Jedi Order, not save them.
Yeah. All that. Exactly. All right, we got a couple more ones, Rob.
Couple more. Okay. There's a good one. Overuse of food. Basically, those like the fantasy stories where people spend ages describing every bit of food.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I actually do I get negative points because I did the opposite of this in Across the Broken Stars, where I just didn't want to have to deal with food because the characters had to travel across different like sort of floating discs in space. And so I just invented this fungus-based food thing where basically you could just eat this fungus and it would give you all of your dietary requirements. And as a result, you just don't need to have like any annoying scenes of characters like preparing food or having to stop at places.
Genius.
Pretty much.
Yeah, lemon spread. Potatoes.
I must admit, I've never had over description of food. I quite often just forget that characters need to eat.
Yeah.
That too.
I'm guilty of that. I had an edit note in in Crowns from Joe Fletcher that says, "Does this man never eat?" So I was like, oh, fuck, not in the last 10 chapters. Apparently not.
I feel like that's one of the areas where
another one of the pet peeves that I didn't actually include because I just figured, what the hell? But there's a lot of people who seem to get really annoyed that characters don't go to the toilet.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Who needs that kind of detail?
But I also see complaints where, why do we have to know that characters went to the toilet? Same thing, opposite.
That is actually.
Why do we have to know that?
To be fair, that is a pet peeve I've had with Harry Potter, because if you think about it, right? They all sleep in the dormitories. The dormitories are never described to have bathrooms in them at any stage. So what? When someone needs
they
to
are.
No, they don't. There's like no scene where
doesn't that ghost girl basically
live
in a
area of the
bathroom?
Castle? That's in the separate area of the castle. So in order to get there,
okay.
You would have to leave the tower that you're sleeping in, cross through the castle at night, and then go to the bathroom. So it'd be like a 20-minute walk.
No,
that's
they
chaotic.
all just have a chamber pot, their own
maybe
chamber pot.
That's the Harry
This
Potter.
is not meant to be a
it is called Harry Potter.
On the toilet habits of Harry Potter.
I just always found it weird. Pot. That's all. Harry Potter in the secret chamber pot.
Yeah. don't tempt her, man. Honestly, don't.
Sequels, here we come. All right, let's go. Two more, Rob. Two more.
Okay, so we have hidden royal bloodlines.
Can't say I
kind
have.
of normal. I got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Definitely. But I
is it spoilers?
Okay. I'm trying to think through Paternus and I can't even remember now.
I don't care about spoilers actually.
Fuck you, reader.
Zeke has a royal bloodline.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I must admit, I've never done it.
Prince
I am sinless.
Prince Tent Peg.
Okay, last one. This is a big one. A lot of people voted for this one. Dragons.
Haven't done it.
Yeah.
Yet.
Oh yeah, we got dragons in like 2 different series, 3 different series. Holy shit! Yeah, 3 different worlds. All have dragons.
No, again, that's like
dragons.
saying, fantasy. I just don't like fantasy. That's like saying magic. I don't like magic. It's just pointless.
Some people don't though. Some people like fantasy.
It's not pointless. It's simply not a pet peeve. It's not a pet peeve. It's just a preference.
Some people.
It's a preference for types. It's a preference for types of books. I wouldn't call that a pet peeve.
So, but has anybody here not used dragons?
I have not.
I don't know. I don't have any dragons. No, I don't have hardly any magic in my books at all. Actually, a little bit, but not a lot.
I seem to remember you have a child making somebody explode.
I do have that element of magic.
With their mind.
Yes. Yes.
That's not magic. That's just a talented kid.
But it's not a dragon. It's just
not a dragon, though.
Really creepy kid.
No, it's sci-fi. He's just a scanner.
Awesome. Was that our last one, Rob?
Yeah, well, there's plenty more, but we'll call that last.
We'll call it that. I don't know, who knows? We might do a round 2 in the future. Thank you, everybody, for sending in your pet peeves. Really appreciate those. This was
won?
A cool episode. The winner was... I kind of stopped keeping score for a couple of rounds, so I don't know how accurate this is, but the winner, totally verifiable, is Dirk Ashton. Congratulations, good sir.
Yeah. So basically I'm the loser.
Yes.
I think the winner was either you or Peter.
I think I only put down 2 points for me and 4 points for Peter. So nice job, mate.
So
in other words, Jed doesn't write fantasy.
That's right. I actually write a totally different
He's
genre.
keeping score, so he's cheating.
Yeah.
There'll be no accusations of bias on this particular committee. Thank you very much. No, thank you everybody for listening or watching to this episode. If you want to help support the podcast, feel free to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Wizards Warriors Words. Link down below. Like I mentioned before, we're going to be doing a couple of bonus episodes on Patreon at some stage. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks for the invite. It's been fun.
Fantastic. All
Thanks,
right.
Peter.
See you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, y'all.
Cheers, guys. See you later.